Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the IVES part number DP1, DP dust proof, DPS dust proof strike. This is their DP1. The DP1 is different than the DP2, and the DP2 has a rectangular faceplate that will fit on top of here. The DP1 is simply a model that's going to be used and intended for use in a threshold application, and that you're meant to grout this into the floor, is how this is intended to be installed. I have to admit, I'm not a fan of grouting that to the floor. What would happen when I need to service this? I think rendering service on this item would not really be the way that I would personally want to go. I would drill a hole through the bottom of that and run a screw down into it is what I would personally do. Hardware fails, regardless of what it is. Any hardware is going to fail, and all I did was just unthread the top. It's got that button plunger that's there. I'm just going to seat that back into the circular cap so that it sits there. Then you've got a spring. You can get down there and drill a hole through it. That's what I would rather do. You know, placing this into, gonna whip up, 25 pounds of saccrete to grout this in. I mean, maybe, sure, that's what the installation instructions are calling for. I might be real tempted to drill a hole down there and just mechanically fasten it. Should I need to pull this out, I would be able to. Just a thought. I don't make a living installing hardware, but that would be my thought. Dust-proof strike for threshold. So you would drill a hole in your threshold and seat this down, and that really thin lip there is not going to prevent too much of an obstacle to sticking above the threshold really at all. The extended description information down below gives us dimensional properties, which we'll go over in a minute. Designed for use with the bottom bolt of all flush bolts. I think that's right. Flush bolts, yes. Dead bolts, no. Surface bolts, no. Other hardware that would articulate off of a pivoting point to try to lock into the floor. These are really meant for flush bolt heads only that are about 1/2 inch in diameter. Why is it a dust-proof strike? Well, because it's spring-loaded. Every time the bolt comes out, that will flush off. Dust, dirt, debris accumulating inside of a hole that's drilled in the floor or the threshold will ultimately prevent the bolt from operating at all. But this will serve to keep that material from collecting inside of the hole simply out of there. I've had people say, well, is it a trip hazard? Does the heel of a shoe get caught in this? In 30 years, I think I've heard of that one time. So the answer is yes, it has occurred. But the thousands of these that I've sold and over the years, it's obviously not an issue where people get hung up on that. Okay. Meets ANSI A156.16 standards. They say it's made of brass. I would bet that the faceplate is made of brass, no doubt. Let's take some dimensional properties. There is a cut sheet below this video and a product brochure. Let's take a look at the cut sheet. The top of that page is the DP1. They say the overall diameter of the head is 1 7/16. It looks like it's bigger than that. No, it's not. 1.425. 1.425. The overall height of the body itself, 2.201. 2.201, so it's a little short on the 2.25 that they're calling out. 2.201. The question I get all the time is, how big is the hole on the inside? Let's test that right now. People simply want to know, how big of a thing can I stick in there? Valid question. My caliper is telling me 0.776. 0.776, so just heavy on 3/4. Okay, 1/2 inch is what you'd be looking to put in there. If you were going to cheat that to 5/8, I know people have done it with success. Your bolt's going to have to really be spot on for that because you've got nothing but a 1/16 of an inch all the way around as margin. Okay, they're showing it to be grouted. They want a 2 3/8 hole that is 1 3/8 diameter. Let's measure the diameter of the body. 1.044, 1.044. Inch and 3/8 is going to be too big of a hole in my opinion. I might go with a little smaller hole on that. I wouldn't go bigger than 1 3/16 myself. Oh, for the grout. That's why they're telling you to make a large hole. This is going to be grouted into place. That's why they want that hole. So proceed accordingly. The depth, 2 3/8 they want. The overall height, I've already forgotten what we said. 2.201. 2 3/8. Yeah, a little bit of room, I suppose, for this to sit grout underneath, etc. If you're going to anchor it down yourself, then you know how to proceed. Then there's a link to a document called Product Brochure that we can look at the DP1 and the DP2. You can see exactly how the DP2 incorporates that faceplate, and all that's going to happen is the faceplate is going to thread down onto the bottom of this installation. So a DP2 is nothing other than the faceplate plus a DP1. So if you have a wood floor, you definitely would want the DP1 in my opinion. Make a nice little mortise in the bottom of your floor, mount that down, give you a secure mounting point, certainly is what it would do. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the IVES products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the IVES? This is their part number DP1 in a 26D finish, or any other IVES product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.